What's up, guys? Kellen from Moving Parallels Life. I just filmed this quick little flow. I wanted to share it with you because it's rad. Broke down a few patterns, starting very slowly and then beginning to integrate. Blend the patterns together, find the transitions between them, connect the dots. This stuff comes directly from my video series, the Free Mover Mobility Project. The link for that is down below. If you like this stuff, you should definitely check that out. In any case, watch the video, take what you need from it, and start playing. Move as much as possible, move in as many ways as possible, and make it feel good in your body. That's what this is all about. So that's it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Now that's it. Check it out. Get some movement in your life. And that's all. I'll see you in the next video. So we'll start things off with some pattern practice where I'll just show you the 4 or so variations that are going to comprise the flow. So we're starting with some seated variations, and the primary one is this long sit or straddle sit position. So we're going to take some time to open things up here. Make this seated position active and strong by elongating your spine and extending your legs away from your body. You're just going to start exploring the position here, adding in variations like reaching and rotating, getting a sense of where your body's at today, checking in. Notice if there's any differences going on between right and left sides. Next, we're going to start working some active and integrated strength with these leg lifts, both straddle leg lifts and pike leg lifts. Can be prepared for some cramps here potentially, as you can see me working through some. Key point here is to not lean back too far. That's going to make the movement easier. That's going to be a compensation, but try to maintain a long spine, sit up tall, and use the strength of the core and the hip flexors to lift the legs. Another quick variation that might come into the fold is the butterfly sit. Soles of the feet pressed together, actively prying the knees open, and you can see I'm using my hands to shift my weight forward and back in and out of the stretch. Next up is a combination of the long sit walk, taking the legs from a wide straddle position to a closed position, and then a little hand balance that I'll call the straddle sit press. So we've got this umbrella term, seated variations, and under that umbrella live multiple movement variations, different seated positions and different transitions that you can start to play with. There's no one right way to do it. It's just a matter of getting exposed to the different options and starting to play around, connect the dots, find your own flow. Okay, next pattern to practice. It's a tricky one. I call it the prone spin to sit transition. So basically you're going from a prone position or lying face down, transitioning to a seated position. You can see there's a weight shift to the side. I'm using my hands to give myself some support as I go through the transition, and I'm using my straight legs to swing around to go from sitting upright to lying face down. Just trying to move very slowly at first so you can get a sense of the movement. I think that is a better way to approach this, and then having an exact step-by-step breakdown. And while I know that can be frustrating, such is the nature of movement training. We're working on developing more complex patterns of movement. We're developing more coordination and greater movement intelligence, and that's a process. It's walking this fine line between having a good breakdown, a chain of progression, but also giving yourself some space to explore the movement and figure it out on your own terms. Next, we'll look at transitioning into a deep squat position, first from a crawl and then from a seated position. These transitions are pretty intuitive, but it's just a matter of figuring out how you're going to manage your level of mobility and making these transitions as clean as possible. All right, so things got blurry pretty quickly in our pattern practice. Let's just review what we worked on. We did the long sit and butterfly sit positions. We did the leg lifts and hip press. We did the prone spin to sit transition, and then the crawl to deep squat and sit to deep squat transitions. You've got some familiarity with the patterns. Now we're going to continue pushing the envelope and transition into flow practice. As we make this transition, there's a shift that can take place. A shift away from thinking so hard about how to do the movements towards allowing your body to lead and just see what happens, explore and experiment. I'm going to flow through these patterns in a completely unscripted way. I don't want you to try to keep up with me, but watch, take away what looks interesting for yourself, use it to inform your practice, but this is your time to take the tools we worked on and build something that is uniquely your own. It's your personal expression of movement that doesn't have to look like anybody else's and isn't held to any arbitrary standards. It's simply moving in the ways that work best for your body, that feel best in your body. There's so much to love about the flow practice, the way that it offers the body so much diverse, healthy movement, the way that it focuses your mind, the way that it just can connect you to yourself and to the present moment. And for me, it's been a way to let go of some perfectionistic tendencies. When you're going through flow, it's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be the thing that you want it to be, but you learn to accept it for what it is, and you keep building, you keep growing from that point. And I think that's really powerful. So anyway, I want to thank you for checking out the video. Thank you for moving with me, and we'll see you again soon.